The Bible often invokes the language and imagery of marriage to describe God's relationship with humanity. This metaphor is deeply rooted in both the Old and New Testaments, symbolizing the intimate, covenantal, and loving nature of God's connection with his people. Understanding this metaphor requires a look at the cultural and theological context in which marriage was highly sanctified and revered as a foundational social institution. In the Old Testament, the prophet Hosea's life is used as a vivid illustration of this marriage metaphor. God commands Hosea to marry a woman named Gomer, who is unfaithful to him. This relationship symbolizes Israel's unfaithfulness to God through idolatry and sin. Despite her infidelity, Hosea continues to love and care for Gomer, reflecting God's steadfast love and mercy towards a wayward Israel. Hosea 2:19-20 states, "I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you in righteousness and justice, in love and compassion." These verses emphasize God's unwavering commitment and desire to restore the relationship with his people, despite their failings. In the New Testament, the marriage metaphor takes on a new dimension with the relationship between Christ and the church. The Apostle Paul, in his letter to the Ephesians, writes, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Ephesians 5:25. Here, the sacrificial love of Christ for the church is paralleled with the love a husband should have for his wife. The church is often referred to as the bride of Christ, highlighting the purity, devotion, and unity that should characterize the relationship between believers and their Savior. The book of Revelation culminates this imagery with the depiction of the marriage supper of the Lamb, Revelation 19:7-9, where the ultimate union between Christ and his church is celebrated in the heavenly realm. This final gathering symbolizes the fulfillment of God's redemptive plan and the eternal companionship between the Creator and his redeemed. Expanding on this metaphor, marriage in biblical times was seen as a covenant rather than a contract. It involved promises of loyalty, care, and mutual support, not unlike the covenants God made with figures like Abraham, Moses, and David. Just as marriage binds two individuals into a lifelong partnership, the divine human covenant binds God and humanity in a relationship characterized by love, faithfulness, and mutual commitment. This marital imagery also serves to communicate the depth of God's emotional investment in humanity. The pain of Israel's unfaithfulness is likened to the heartbreak of adultery, while the joy of reconciliation echoes the happiness of a restored marital relationship. This anthropomorphic portrayal helps believers understand the profound impact their actions and choices have on their relationship with God. Furthermore, the concept of marriage within the biblical context underscores themes of sanctification and transformation. Just as spouses influence and shape each other throughout their marriage journey, believers are transformed by their relationship with God. The process of sanctification, or being made holy, is likened to the refining and purifying process that occurs within a committed, loving marriage. Finally, the metaphor of marriage challenges believers to reflect on their own relationship with God. It calls for a commitment to faithfulness, love, and obedience, mirroring the virtues of an ideal marriage. It also reminds believers that, just as in a healthy marriage, communication, trust, and a willingness to grow together are crucial elements in their walk with God. In conclusion, the language and imagery of marriage in the Bible serve as a powerful metaphor for the relationship between God and humanity. It encapsulates the themes of covenant, love, faithfulness, and transformation, offering a relatable and profound understanding of the divine human connection. Through this metaphor, believers are invited to experience the depth of God's love and commitment, inspiring them to respond with reciprocal devotion and fidelity.